Good morning. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to be speaking in front of a group like this. I apologize I couldn't be there in person and you're watching this on a screen. That was obviously not the intention. I'm just feeling a little under the weather, and I wasn't well enough to fly yesterday to get there in time today. But thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. We threw this video together rather quickly yesterday, so just bear with me. I hope it'll be valuable for everybody in the room. Just a little bit about myself and Fortune Fish and Gourmet. Fortune Fish and Gourmet, we are importers, processors, and distributors of seafood. We service 6 Midwestern states. We're located just outside of Chicago, next to the cargo bay at O'Hare Airport. We also have a gourmet food division. We sell chicken, beef, pork, olive oil, cheese, kind of you name it, any kind of high-end product that our retail customers and our food service customers would enjoy having. Myself, I'm a trained chef. I went to the Culinary Institute of America in New York. I kind of grew up in the restaurant business, working in Chicago, Texas, and New York, and kind of fell in love with the seafood industry and seafood itself, and decided to kind of move into that world. We have about 3,000 customers at Fortune Fish and Gourmet. 25% of them are retail, probably 75% are food service. When we talk about catfish, we sell about 118,000 pounds of catfish per year. Most of that's in fillets, you know, the 7 to 9 ounce, the 9 to 11 ounce. 103,000 pounds of that is fresh product, which leaving, you know, about 15,000 pounds for frozen. So we're mostly a fresh house. Most of the products that leave here are fresh. We're probably 75% fresh and 25% frozen. I was asked a bunch of questions, which I'm going to answer, and then I'd kind of like to take you on a tour of our facility to kind of show you the FDA/USDA challenges that we'll have at Fortune, and possibly other people in our same industry will have as well. How do our retail customers feel about catfish? That was the first question. And I think it's a staple item. I think every single one of our retail customers currently has catfish in their case. What depends on the movement is where the store is located and what type of customers they have. So for an example, we sell 48 Whole Foods stores in our region. They'd be lucky to sell 500 pounds of catfish in a week, actually all 48 stores. So if you do the math, it's about 11 pounds per week per store. So not a lot of catfish. A more mainstream retailer of ours that would sell not as high end of a customer is selling about 50 pounds of catfish a week, or 5 times more than a Whole Foods. They're usually in a lower income area, and they have a more ethnic clientele that buys more catfish, to be honest. I guess the difference on sales of catfish for the retail customer is basically the location of the store and the demographics of the people shopping at that store. How I would compare catfish with swai. For us at Fortune, since we are heavily a fresh house, there isn't really a comparison. We don't really sell any fresh swai, and the frozen swai we have is almost exactly the same amount. The amount of frozen swai that we sell is about the exact same amount of frozen catfish that we sell. So they're pretty equal, although we sell 0 fresh swai. Or Pangasius. We will refresh Pangasius and sell it in the fresh form, but it started frozen. We actually tried that program probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it didn't take off that great. It didn't go as well as we thought it would go. So, you know, if you look at it, we're selling 15,000 pounds of Pangasius a year, all frozen, compared to 118,000 pounds of catfish last year. Catfish continues to rise in sales, where swai or Pangasius and honestly tilapia are losing sales a little bit. Catfish is growing in sales the same level as our increase in total sales of Fortune Fish have grown, so it's not any more than our normal percentage of growth, but it isn't any less either. Tilapia sales are down. I think it's no longer a new fish. I think chefs are a little bored with it. I think they're looking for different options. We didn't necessarily lose the sale, but we lost tilapia sale to, say, something else, redfish, or something that might be a little bit more exciting for the chef to be put on a menu. Tilapia kind of used to be a new fish. People are excited about it. It's not that new anymore. I think it's getting a little stagnant and stale. Even if you ask the tilapia guys, their sales growth is happening out of the United States and other countries. I was asked what the catfish industry does well. I think the catfish industry does well. It's a quality product that people can depend on. They know what they're getting when they eat it. But that being said, I think it needs to be a little bit more exciting as well. You're keeping pace. The sales are consistent. You see some consistent growth. But I don't think you're going to see a big bump unless maybe some changes are made. On a personal level, it's not something I eat a lot. I think the quality could be a little bit better. It sometimes tastes a little muddy to me. I think that could be improved as well. Maybe a different form or a different cut, less of a bloodline, something like that might help. Also, I think just some better marketing, telling a better story would also help catfish. To continue to tell the same story, I think gets a little old and people know it. And the people that eat catfish respect it and will continue to order it. But what I really think, maybe a different story, a little different take on the product would do it some justice. Our salespeople don't lead with catfish. They don't call a customer and say, hey, you got to try our catfish. That's just not something they do. They're going to lead with a different item. If somebody actually asks us about catfish and says, hey, do you have catfish? Then they're going to reply and tell them about the catfish we have. It's domestic and how great it is. But I don't think it's how they're going to lead a sales call. We do have some customers that do kind of a high-end southern style kitchens, and they'll have catfish on their menu. They do a good job telling the story, but it's a small percentage of our customers, very, very small. And then obviously the ethnic and the retail stores will sell some as well. But I think the amount of the population that's eating catfish needs to grow on a regular basis to get that bump in sales. So I think you got to tell a good story, a better story than the one you're telling now. And I think you have to have really great tasting product to back that up. So I would say increase your quality, tell a better story, increase your sales. The other thing I think would really help is just increasing seafood consumption generally, supporting the seafood industry and getting people to eat more seafood. I think will get people to eat more catfish. You guys have kind of set yourself apart as an industry by yourself, and I don't know if that helps. I think the more people we get to eat seafood, the more people we get to go to the seafood counter and eat seafood instead of choosing chicken, beef, veal, or pork. I think we'll get more catfish in people's mouth because they're going to try it because the other things tasted good. They're not going to eat tilapia every day. They want some diversity. So I think that would be that'd be very important. I think it would be great. I know some of the companies in the catfish industry support the industry, but it would be great to see it more as a whole, just getting people to eat more seafood. As far as getting into new markets, as far as we're concerned, you're in every retail store we sell. So it's actually how to get the people in those stores to be eating catfish or going to the seafood counter more often, eating more seafood. And I would say the same thing, grow the customers that you have and grow the customers in those stores that aren't buying catfish. Tell a better story, have a better product in that case, and I think you'll sell more, support the seafood industry. So now I'd just like to take you into our facility and kind of show you the USDA products that we sell and the FDA products that we sell and the differences and how catfish needs to change to be compliant with USDA so that we can sell it in the proper way. So thank you for the time this far, and we're going to head out to the plant. Thanks.
So now we're in our fish cooler. It's a little loud in here, so I'm going to try to talk loud to make sure everybody can hear me. But this whole room right now is regulated by the FDA. As we walk down this aisle where we keep our catfish, you're going to see we probably have about 5 or 6 pallets that once this change happens will be regulated by the USDA. So we have some whole catfish, some skinned catfish, catfish fillets. Stacy, let's go a little closer just so they can hopefully hear me. So now that it's regulated by the FDA, you know, this is coming 9 to 12 ounce. Looks like it's a 10-pound box. That's actually a 15-pound box. We can open this box. We can open up the bag. We can take out 2 pounds of fillets, 3 pounds of fillets, whatever the customer is requesting. We only process about 40 pounds of catfish a week. And the reason we would do that is if we ran out of a certain size fillet, let's say we don't have enough 7 to 9 ounce fillets to fill the orders, we'll actually take the whole catfish and cut it down to make up for those fillet orders that we have in the system. But other than that, everything's going out, not probably ever in a 15-pound box unless it's a large retailer. We're probably opening up this box, opening up this bag, and taking catfish fillets out to fulfill the customer's needs. So now we're entering our processing room. The important thing to point out here is under the FDA, we can cut catfish at any time of the day, whenever we want, in any quantities we want. So remember what I told you before, we cut about 40 pounds of catfish a week depending on what kind of orders we get in the system. Under the FDA, we can do that whenever we want. Under the USDA, we would have to have an on-site inspector from the USDA here at all times while we're cutting catfish. So if we're only cutting 40 or 50 pounds a week, it's really not cost effective to have that person here. So honestly, if this change happens, I seriously doubt we will ever cut catfish again, and catfish will not enter this room. So now you're about to enter our meat cooler. So we store beef, veal, and pork in this room. This entire room is inspected by the USDA. And let's go walk and find some products to look at so I can show you exactly what we're looking in here. As far as catfish is concerned, we would not be able to store catfish in here, this room, I don't believe. You don't want to store fish with beef and pork. But let's look at some products. So everything that we purchase from that's inspected by the USDA has to have the USDA stamp on there and a number that represents the plant that actually produced this product. So here's some beef stock bones. Here's the USDA stamp, and it came from plant 31776. One important thing to note is that we can sell this product. We can actually receive it, put it in our building, as long as it has that stamp. We also have a receiving sticker that we put on everything that comes into our building, and we cannot put this sticker on top of that stamp. We get in big trouble, so there's a lot of training that we have to go through to make sure they do not put this receiving sticker on the stamp. Seems easy, but it's something we have to go over all the time. If it's a 40-pound box, like these Meyer hangers right here, and we want to open this box and sell individual units outside of that box, every single unit inside has to be sealed, so we can't open it, and it has to have that USDA stamp on it as well with the plant that produced it. We cannot open this box and sell individual units out of the box if it does not have that stamp. You get in big trouble for that. So what we need the catfish industry to do is I need you to pack all your products in 5-pound bags just like this. I don't think I could have them in 10-pound bags. I don't think I could have them in 15-pound bags. For the amount that an average customer buys from us, 5 pounds is as much as they can have. Again, I won't be able to open this bag. I won't be able to process this because we don't process that much. I do believe this will hurt the catfish industry because I can't sell 2 pounds of catfish. I can't sell 3 pounds of catfish. Everything's going to go 5, 10, 15, or 20. And I think you'll lose some business and lose some sales for people that don't want to have to buy that much and they're worried about waste. As far as Fortune Fish is concerned, we're against the USDA taking over catfish from the FDA. I don't think it'll help the industry. I don't think it's going to help catfish. I don't think it's going to help your sales at all. Actually, I think it honestly could hurt it. We are currently prepared for this change because the USDA already comes in here. They already inspect us. For them to inspect our catfish won't be that big of a deal as long as you guys pack it the way I need it packed. For other seafood companies that maybe do not have USDA in their plants already, this is going to be a difficult change for them. They're going to have to register, they're going to have to set up these inspections, they're going to have to do a lot of legwork in order to do this, which also I don't think will be good for the catfish industry, for all the small seafood guys that are selling your product. It's a whole nother inspector that's coming into the facility. And just in closing, I forgot to tell you in my office, there's a new product called Suchi that's coming out. It's coming out of the Dominican Republic. It's a farm-raised Pangasius that they're calling Suchi. It's kind of exciting. We can get it fresh here, and it's pretty easy to get to the United States. We get a lot of stuff from that part of the world. So it's an interesting thing coming out. I think the name's interesting. I think it might do well here. It might sell. It's got a little different of a yellow color to it. That I think it's something to do with the feed they're giving it. But I think that's interesting, something that could take hold in the U.S. We haven't tasted it yet, but we're looking forward to trying it. So I guess that's all I have for today. I'm sorry I'm not there to be able to answer questions, but I'm happy to give all of you my email address, my phone number, and you're welcome to call me at any time. But thank you for your time today, and I appreciate the opportunity.